My next guest has made fighting hate and exposing racism his mission. Please welcome Daryle to the show. Daryle, thank you so much for being here. It's incidents like this that you are tracking all over America, are you not?
Yes, I am. And one of the things that folks should bear in mind is the fact that while they are not isolated incidents, especially in the area of Florida where you're at, you're basically dealing with a lot of dysfunctional youth. They're not really rooted into some ideology, even though they say they are a part of this whole white nationalist thing. But more often than not, I find out that there are a lot of kids that are coming from broken homes.
Disenfranchised, children that are abused, children that have been thrown out of their house.
Looking for a place to belong, and the wrong people got to them. And a lot of them will end up turning their lives around, ended up getting out of the whole white supremacist scene.
But you've also done some things I think, which are pretty powerful, and that's been outing some white supremacists, people who are politicians who belong to these organizations. People who work as elected officials who belong to these organizations. You've helped to make them lose their jobs.
We helped to make them lose their jobs. We had a market analyst from Halliburton. We had a prosecutor from upstate New York. We had a city council member in New Jersey.
All of whom are elected officials who are moonlighting as Aryan and white supremacists and belonging to these organizations.
Right. And one thing that we should all consider is that a lot of these groups are dying. And they're falling apart.
And you know, I thought funny. You got to tell people why some of them are falling apart, because a couple of the leaders of these organizations are guys who, you know, they talk about let's make sure we keep our white brotherhood together and keep our white nation strong. Yet when you go into their houses and take a look at their computers, you find that they have a lot of white children in pedophilia-looking situations.
Right. And this is one of the reasons why I have to thank you for not having them on the show today, because they really do not have any relevance to what we are as a people. They don't have anything to say to us that will matter.
But there's 800 of these organizations out here.
No, you know what it is? Actually, it's 800 people with websites. The fact of the matter is, the major groups have fallen apart, and all the remnants are just scattered all over the place trying to get whatever niche they can in the whole scene. They're a bunch of glory houses.
But my worry is the fact that right now we live in a society where there are so many disenfranchised youth.
We got to talk to them.
Kids living on the streets.
We have got to talk to them.
But if these guys get to them first, just like they were able to get to Steve, we're in trouble.
Well, it's just like any other gang. It's just like you have to look at the fact that if we are dealing with this crowd, we're dealing with gangs. And just like any gang members, you have three options. You can die young, you can go to jail, or you can grow up. I suggest you take the third option. If you don't, we can work with that too.
Thanks for what you do. I know it was crazy. One of the things, what was the National Alliance? One of their leaders actually turned their back on the organization and brought to you guys the entire membership files.
Yes, indeed.
So they've been able to use those membership files now and out some people who deserve to be outed. What we have to do is get that public outcry to say, get them out of office once we find out about their real beliefs. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm going to take a break.